Hey everyone, Nathan here playing some more Team Fortress 2, and this video is going to show you how overpowered the Phlogistinator is, because there was one of my videos, I don't remember which one of them, but I was talking about overpowered weapons, and I made a passing comment about how the Phlogistinator is overpowered, and like 4 people argued in the comments section. So before you start typing a comment, just watch this gameplay, watch the lack of skill involved as I go 28 and 8. Guys, that is more than a, let's see, 3 KD, and there is absolutely zero skill involved in using this flamethrower, and it just teaches new players that are playing Pyro just the utmost or bad notions of what Pyro should be. So let's get into it. So about this gameplay, I chose a map that's very unfriendly to Pyros, and this is Koth Lakeside, and the reason this map is unfriendly to Pyros is that there's a lot of open spaces, especially on the control point, and even though I do stick to most close quarter scenarios, this map still is not beneficiary to me in a lot of ways. So another note about this gameplay is that I'm actually going to speed up a part of it because I actually had to answer the phone, and I didn't want to throw out the gameplay, so I'm just speeding that up, or maybe I'm skipping it. I don't remember what I did for editing. And there's also parts where I'm just going to edit out the deaths to make the video shorter, because no one wants to watch like a 12-minute video. I'd much rather make it 8 minutes, and you know, that's just kind of YouTube standards. So anyway, that's just kind of that. So even though this might be quite basic, I would still like to go over the stats with the Phlogistinator with you guys, because there is something lying within that I'd like to discuss. So all fire damage increases oomph, activate to refill health, and crit for several seconds. So oomph is this bar you have, and then it has a minus 10% damage penalty, no random critical hits, and no air blast. As one of my subscribers pointed out to me before, I actually didn't know this previously, so thank you Zist for bringing this to my attention. In the update where Valve boosted the default flamethrower stats, or rather left them alone and then lowered every other flamethrower stats by 10%, the Phlogistinator did not get updated with every other flamethrower. So the Degreaser, instead of having the default flaming damage, it had a minus 10% damage penalty now. However, the Phlogistinator stayed the same, and right now it has a minus 10% damage penalty, like I just said. So now it is on par with the Degreaser instead of being the weakest flamethrower of all before the update. But the damage is not what makes this flamethrower overpowered. In fact, it having weaker damage than the normal flamethrower is very good, although it is not enough of a nerf to counter what makes it overpowered, which is the crit meter. So if you guys do not know, to activate your crit meter when it is full, you simply right click, which then sends your pyro into a taunt animation, which then activates your crits. But while you do this animation, your health is completely refilled. No downside to that, it's just straight up refilled, and you also take only 25% of incoming damage that you normally would have taken. And previously, before Valve actually nerfed the Phlog, you'd only take 10% of incoming damage, which made you almost invincible. To fill this crit meter as well, it takes 225 points of damage, which realistically on the battlefield takes you about 5 seconds to accumulate just straight up flaming an enemy. And this is another aspect of it that makes it very overpowered, is that it takes very little time to build this meter up, which gives you 10 seconds of guaranteed crits each time you get, let's say, 5 seconds of flame on an enemy. So really, why is this flamethrower overpowered? Well, I've listed the stats so far, but let's examine really what makes it super overpowered. So first of all, you build this so-called crit meter very fast by only getting 5 to 6 seconds of flame on an enemy. When you taunt to activate your crits, your health is completely refilled, which I cannot stress to you how overpowered that is. That is like eating a sandwich for heavy instantly, just no problem whatsoever. There's no downside to it. It's just thrown in there. Like your health is refilled on taunt when your crit meter is activated, and that's just, I don't know why that's in the game. And you don't see like heavies with the ability to instantly drop a full health sandwich. In fact, Valve actually nerfed the sandwich, so you can't just instantly have half health back. And the other aspect of the Phlog being overpowered is that you only take 25% of incoming damage. This should be removed completely. Why should the Pyro get the ability to only take 1/4 of incoming damage when you're taunting, which should make you very vulnerable? That should be the exact downside, is that maybe taunting does make you vulnerable, but no, they have it where the taunt only allows you to pretty much be almost invincible, and this is just so overpowered. And what really irks me about this flamethrower as well is what it teaches new players who happen to be playing Pyro if they come across this weapon. So new players typically play Pyro because it's a very simple class and does not require much skill. We all know that, and that's just typically how it goes. But this flamethrower just teaches new people bad tactics because since it does not come with an air blast, which is technically a downside, it teaches them to just WM1 the entire time, when really, to be a good Pyro, you have to be air blasting, you have to be extinguishing teammates who are on fire, getting stickies off of a point, reflecting rockets, pushing Ubers back. These are all things you should learn as a Pyro when you're new to TF2, and that's how you help out your team as Pyro, is you help them out with your air blast, not by flaming people. And it's just, it teaches people bad things if they come across this flamethrower, which, believe me, there are people out there who probably have not learned these air blasting techniques because they've just stuck with a Phlog. And guys, there is a moment in this gameplay here that I'm about to point out. So I see these two people come around the corner, and I use my taunt because I knew I'd probably be killed to refill my health, and look at how little of a time I got my flame on that guy before I killed him instantly. So I'm taking that in slow motion. Just look at that. Just instantly he's dead. And what do you do to combat that? You don't do anything. When you see somebody coming at you with crits, you run away. There's nothing to do to combat that, and that is what irks people. I bet that Pyro was raging at his computer after a death like that. It's just such bullcrap. Also, to compare this flamethrower with an imaginary weapon, you would find that this imaginary weapon, which would have the exact same stats as the flamethrower, is very overpowered. So if you took a heavy minigun, let's say that this heavy minigun had the same exact stats as the Phlog, it did minus 10% damage, and let's say it even revved up maybe 20% slower, but it got a crit meter for every, let's say, 200 damage it did, or even 300 damage, being heavies deal out a lot of damage. If you had 10 seconds of guaranteed crits on a heavy, you could do so much with that. That weapon would be the most powerful weapon in Team Fortress 2, and everybody would know it because guaranteed crits is not something that should be in the game. Let me rephrase that. Guaranteed crits in Team Fortress 2 is okay. Like, crits like the Frontier Justice are guaranteed crits, but they're fine. However, getting 10 seconds of guaranteed crits for doing what you should be doing, flaming people, is not an excuse to have them. So in summary, this flamethrower desperately needs a nerf, and that will actually wrap up the video, guys, being I am going over my gameplay a little bit here. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. I really appreciate it, and if you like TF2, feel free to subscribe because I bring lots of that to my channel, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. So peace out.